So I primarily have an audience comprising of student counselors today. ज़्यादातर student counselors हैं अभी यहाँ पे? Great. Being part of Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture since the last 14 years and heading the foundation program, which is actually the first year where students come into our university or degree awarding institution. We cannot call ourselves a university, but we're a degree awarding institution. And having had conversations with students and parents and art teachers and schools about admissions and what career paths students can take when they come to our institution, I could resonate with a lot of ideas that were presented or concerns that were raised by people over here. Anyways, I'll keep that for when we start the discussion with the panel. I would like to welcome you all. Thank you all for joining us today for what promises to be a stimulating and insightful panel discussion on how the choice of subjects can lead to exciting careers, organized by the Cambridge University Press and Assessment. As we stand at the cusp of an era defined by rapid technological advancements and the rise of generative AI, the career landscape is more unpredictable and dynamic than ever before. Our discussion today aims to shed light on how students can navigate this uncertainty by making informed and innovative subject choices. We will explore the societal and cultural factors influencing these choices, address the concerns of students and parents, and examine how schools and higher education institutions can collaborate to support diverse and lucrative career paths. I'm thrilled to be joined by an esteemed panel of experts from leading universities and Cambridge International AS and A-level schools in Karachi. Their wealth of experience and perspectives will undoubtedly provide us with valuable insights into how we can foster a culture of curiosity and creativity in education, ensuring our students are well prepared for the future. My first panelist is Dr. Shakeel Ahmed Khoja, Professor and Dean, School of Mathematics and Computer Sciences, Institute of Business Administration. Dr. Shakeel Khoja is a professor and Dean of the School of Mathematics and Computer Sciences and a Commonwealth Academic Fellow. He has around 25 years of professional experience and over 16 research publications. Dr. Shakeel has worked as a lead researcher and project manager for many research projects at IBA and the University of Southampton. Currently, he is working as a co-PI on EU-funded Erasmus projects to bring digital classrooms to remote universities in Pakistan. He read for his PhD and postdoc at the School of Electronics and Computer Sciences, University of Southampton, UK. His area of research includes the development of e-learning frameworks and digital libraries, information retrieval, and application of multimedia tools over the internet. Please join us on stage. Saira Iqbal is the head of school, Beacon House School, Cambridge Campus, North Nazimabad. Saira has been associated with the field of education for over 23 years, encompassing a broad spectrum of roles as a high school teacher to school manager, teacher educator, mentor for CAIE professional development courses for school leaders, and cluster convener overseeing 4 campuses. She has implemented several educational initiatives within the organization and has been guiding the emerging leaders as well as counseling students for future educational paths. Saira finished her master's in English linguistics from University of Karachi and holds a postgraduate certification in professional education from University of Exeter, UK. Please join us on stage. Dr. Tayyaba Amir, Director Admissions, Dow University of Health Sciences. Dr. Tayyaba has been associated with Dow University of Health Sciences as Director of Admissions since 2017. It is through her determination and professional development that she rose through the ranks of Project Manager to Director Admissions. She has extensive experience in implementing admission policies, developing program prospectuses, and improving universities' outreach and accessibility by disseminating information to prospective students. Dr. Tayyeba completed her MBA from the Institute of Health Management. She also holds an MBBS from Dow Medical College. Please join us on stage. Raheel Masood is the principal, Cedar College, PECHS campus. Raheel has had the privilege of working with young people for over 30 years. He previously held roles as Associate Director of Admissions at Georgetown University and Director of Admissions at the Corcoran School of Art before returning to Pakistan after over 2 decades in the USA. Earlier, Raheel worked as the principal and head of college counseling for South Shore College and currently serves as the principal of Cedar College. Raheel completed his MBA in marketing from the American University and holds a BSc in economics. I'm not sure on how to pronounce that. Allegheny College and Reed College. Please join us on stage. So we have with us today diversity, I think, in backgrounds and also pertinence to what we are going to be talking about today. I think each of the individuals who's joined me today brings their own experiences which are very relevant to the questions that we're going to be talking about today. I would like to start by asking you all to give a little opening statement about what you think about our topic today. So we'll start with you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'll start my case by giving you 2 examples. Around 15 years ago, we heard a term which was biomedical engineering. Everybody thought that it's an exciting area, and because of the invention of new membranes and things like that, this is going to be the next destination for all our students. Then around 10 years ago, we heard the term telecommunication engineering. And then everybody thought that with this whole mobile network, coming into Pakistan, they will require lots of telecommunication engineers in Pakistan. And every university started opening a department of telecommunication engineering. What happened to these 2 technologies? I'm not against new inventions. I'm not against new areas. And I understand that AI or data sciences, as we were discussing, they would have certain footprint in future, but we need to understand few things. So I'll ask 2 questions first. When we study at school, 80% of our courses are towards general science. We study physics, mathematics, chemistry, and biology. When we were looking at the slide of emerging fields, I was unable to see any of these names in those emerging fields. So are we suggesting that there are no careers in physics, no careers in mathematics, or no career in pure sciences? We have to think. The second point is that when we are selecting for a specialized field, like for example, when we talk about bachelors of AI, we know it is coming from bachelors of computer science, and we can think about that when a student opts for, let's say, bachelors of AI, the student is taking a decision at the age of 18 years, even before going into the university, and perhaps with no prior knowledge about AI. The student might have done 1 or 2 courses of computer sciences, but the student is completely unaware of AI. So what about if the student wants to change the career after reading the degree? What sort of options will be there? So when we talk about career progression, we have to think about career change. And we have seen that in the recent world, everyone is forced or pushed to change careers. So where we are on that? So that is something that we need to understand. So when we look in towards the solutions of these challenges, we need to understand that the general purpose degrees I'm not saying that go and just read bachelors of physics or bachelors of mathematics, and I understand that the state of these universities offered by public sector universities is not up to the mark. But look at the options where we can look into majors, minors, or concentrations. Like for example, a degree of social sciences may provide you an option of psychology, may provide you a concentration of media sciences, or maybe a minor of data sciences from some other school. A degree of computer science may provide you a concentration of cybersecurity, AI, crypto, and other things. So instead of doing a degree of bachelor's in cybersecurity, the safe option could be the bachelor's of computer science with some concentration, or maybe a bachelor's of mathematics with a concentration of data science. So these are the solutions, because see, the challenge is we have to understand the passion of the subject. What we are grooming the student is with the love and passion of the subject, which from class nursery till A level are the core subjects. But what happens that when we decide about professions, we look in terms of employability, we look in terms of options of migration, and we look in terms of societal acceptance. And these are the things which actually come after the graduation. These are not the things which come before the graduation. So my point here is that think in terms of career progression, think in terms of the potential that the student has, and think in terms of the options that are available. Because as Mania said, that around 80% of our even A-level students are going towards the local universities. So we have to understand that the careers of these students will be mostly in Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So with the perspective Dr. Khoja has just shared, I would like to discuss that actually I would be taking my contacts into account, and I would be discussing that, because at the school level, the students at a very young age need to discover their own talents and interests. And that is exactly what we need to nurture in the students at a very young age, so that they're able to identify which particular fields they would like to pursue, and then they would have informed decisions made, instead of having a confusion that after even O-level and A-level, they are not able to decide about their subjects and career choices. And often, they lead to the careers which they are not interested in, and afterwards, we have seen students dropping out and then opting for other fields, and there's utter confusion created for them. Therefore, I would like to recommend that it is imperative for the schools and the institutions of higher education to be inculcating this research as well as self-discovery among the students, so that they're able to find their own interests and they follow it with some informed decisions, so that maybe they do not have the confusions which they find afterwards when they are graduating from different institutions. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My stance is that much has been already communicated by Dr. Shakil Khoja, Ma'am Saira, and being associated with the medical profession and dealing with the medical students, the medical admissions with more than 10 years, I have seen so much that there is so much parental pressure and the societal pressure. I have seen a lot of students coming who are not willing to come into the medicine field. I'm sorry, I am giving example of my profession because I'm dealing on day-to-day basis with these students. I mean, they are not convinced to do the biology subjects, but they are being forced by their parents, their peers, society, that medicine is the most, reputable, profession, then comes the engineering, and so on and on. Every year we receive more than 10,000 applications just for Karachi. And they are all, willing to get into the medicine profession. even then, in medicine, if anybody is doing the biology and chemistry and other physics subjects, other professions are also there, like physiotherapy, physical therapy, which is the emerging field, biotechnology, which is after the COVID era, it deals with the vaccine and the antibiotics, anti-cancer drugs. Psychology is a very emerging field as well. And BS in public health, like public health is after the COVID, they deal with the public health sector, hospitals, with the NGOs, and so much more. Then the pharmaceutical sciences is also there, medical technology. We are in dire need of medical technologists in our country, So there are a lot of fields and a lot of unconventional programs, and this is, I think, the duty, you say, or everything of the student counselors. Then much of the seminars and the programs should be conducted, and customized programs and workshops should be developed. And the parents should be convinced more than the students, then obviously the students. So there is a lot of work and but you can do in this field. There are a lot of work to do. Thank you.
I think mine is working. All right, so when I was asked to be here, I warned Hira, I said, you're asking somebody who's totally out there, and some of the people who worked with me know that I have very strong opinions about this. So at the risk of, I've got 3 of my senior counseling team from CEDAR here, so they might be happy to hear this. I've had the privilege of working for 2 A-level programs that have invested significantly in counseling. Counseling is always seen as a cost center, right? You don't generate revenue for the institution, but you arguably perform the most important function, because what is the A-level program doing? It's preparing students for university, right? That's what the presentation's shown you. The importance of what you do and what Cambridge does through its programs, we can nitpick, and Ahad is absolutely right, the IB is viewed in a certain way. But there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. One is investing in education. The parents need to invest in education and not worry about, acha, jahan scholarship milegi, wahan jayenge. Bhai, dekho to sahi what is being offered. And how much are you willing to invest? Not money, but in terms of your time and effort. Schools have the obligation. Look around this room, talk to each other about how many kids you counsel. If you have a counseling load that's 200 kids, 300 kids, how do you get to the core of what all these wonderful people have said? Get to know your kids, guidance, counseling, and advising. You spend most of your time putting out fires, right? Class nahi gaya, grade kharab ho gaya. Where are you getting the mental space to talk to them about what's your dream, what are you passionate about? How much time can you invest in that? Where does that come from? That comes from parents recognizing that there is a component that needs to be paid for. They'll go out and pay 5, 7, 8 lakhs to some company to get their kid into some mediocre university, but they won't pay the school to hire more counselors and to train them. So the role of the counselor is critical for these young people. And I'm fortunate that at South Shore and now at CEDAR, there is that realization of an investment, and I see that progress in our kids. And every point that has been made here is absolutely valid about studying in Pakistan versus going abroad. I studied abroad. I'm actually the perfect example of this whole conversation, because I started out as the 3-2 program in computer science at Reed College. I ended up with an undergraduate degree in economics, but what you didn't see was that I had minors in math, computer science, and religion. Then I did an MBA in marketing, but I also took courses in the regression in the math department and did a lot of other stuff. And I did what every good MBA does. I went into the consulting world. But then I said, I loved education. When Georgetown's job came open, they said, "Pagal ho gaye ho, aadhe paison mein kyun hamare liye kaam karoge?" Maine kaha, "Nahi, yeah, this is my passion." And I sit here 34 years later from when I joined Georgetown, still working in education and loving it. My wife thinks I'm nuts. I work for a US company doing international college counseling. Why? It's why you all do it. It's the thrill of working with unique young people and helping them find their dreams. So, all I would say to every single one of you is push your principals to hire more counselors, to train them, and then work with your kids. Just like every single one of these people has said and others, help them find their dream. You know, my dream when I was 19, and if you ask my classmates at KGS, कि यार ये principal बनेगा, they would have said you're mad. You know, I was the guy who was always getting called up by the prefects for doing the wrong thing. But today, I'm very pleased and I'm proud to be a principal. And my career path is exactly what was said here. You don't know where you're going to end up when you're 19 or 18. I thought I was going to be something totally different. Even at 24, when I got my MBA, I thought it was something different. So those are the things, and they come from good guidance. I had good mentors, my parents, my teachers, my professors. That's the role you have. And counselors in Pakistan, and this conversation can go on for hours, are extremely important. So this is an area that I feel we need to do a better job on. And the education of parents about not just the academics, but the value you bring to their children is critical for the school, the college you work for, and for yourselves. That is what's going to change the dynamic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very important points. Career progression versus career choices, migration and social acceptance, self-discovery, opening up to newer fields that established degrees offer, like biotech, medtech, public health, etc., and the importance of investing in counseling. I would now like to start the questions to my esteemed panel. So my first question is to Dr. Khoja. What societal or cultural factors do you believe contribute to the preference for mainstream subjects in Pakistan? But more importantly, how do we begin to change the mindset?
Okay. I guess not working. Thank you. If you had asked me this question 20 years ago, I would have said that any profession that leads you towards better employability, that leads you to make, to have the capacity to make more money, that would be the, best profession. For example, become a chartered accountant, become an MBA, or become a doctor because you'll make money. Because that was the last generation that was thinking of, and that was the need of that hour. But with the passage of another generation, we have to think seriously. We have to think about what our students want to do to begin with. If they are towards mathematics, if they are towards understanding of the subject, what can be those options that can be provided to them, to have that, the food for their passion, and some sort of an opportunity which makes them employable. That's why I was coming to that point, like for example, a bachelor's of mathematics degree with a concentration of data science could be an ideal thing for that student who was in love with mathematics, and for the employability, that student did some courses of data science which would be accepted by the market. So we have to understand that now we are not in that rage of employability or in terms of कि जी इसने मैट्रिक पास कर ली तो माँ मेरी अब शादी करा दो. That was the statement 20 years ago. Now we have to understand that education must have a purpose. The degrees, the higher education or the tertiary education must have a purpose for the human development of that particular individual. So that is my answer. Thank you.
So important, and thank you so much for sharing your insight. मैं यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा example अपनी family से बताती हूँ. So my daughter has just graduated from IBA, and she has a passion for sports, and she competes internationally. And जब मैंने उससे पूछा कि जब तुमने IBA से अपनी social sciences तो कर ली है, तो अब तुमने आगे क्या करना है masters के लिए, तो उसने मुझे कहा sports psychology. I was like, okay, so is there a degree for sports psychology? And she's like, yeah, there are universities that offer those programs. And so we started hunting for, those programs that offered her that particular concentration. It wasn't very commonly, the information about such degrees was not very common. Also, she couldn't really find counselors who could counsel her on those, right? Because these are perhaps niche subjects or niche इंटरेस्ट, जैसे हम कह रहे हैं कि स्टूडेंट्स की अपनी जो इंटरेस्ट होती है, उसके लिए मुझे लगता है कि एक डॉन्टिंग टास्क है काउंसलर्स के लिए भी टू अक्वेंट देमसेल्व्स विद द वैरायटी ऑफ न्यू थिंग्स दैट दीज किड्स वांट टू डू. एंड बिकॉज देयर इज सच अ राइज इन acceptance and importance to sports, CEDAR by the way does that, both my kids are from CEDAR, and क्योंकि वो encourage करते हैं इनको उसमें compete करने को, and CEDAR allows that balance between sports and academics. So there are students who want to do that, and physiotherapy and these kind of subjects are so they kind of like integrate into these interests that students have. So I think it's a daunting task, but yeah. There's so much more that we can think about for our students and kids than what we had for us. I would now like to ask Ms. Saira, how do schools address the apprehension of students and parents regarding unconventional subjects? So it's a parental question.
Schools, of course, have a very important role in dealing with the apprehensions and, of course, the uncertainties the parents and the students have in terms of opting for the unconventional subjects. And that starts at very early age, as early as the students start opting for their careers, whether they go to IB or they go to Cambridge education. So that starts at the age of 13 or 14, and there we are actually conducting the sessions with the parents and the students individually as well as group sessions to guide them about the unconventional subjects being offered and what actually would be the advantage. It's not that the student is going to take a completely different field and would excel at that. However, they might go for one or two subjects as per their choices, along with the conventional subject fields which are offered, such as they may take global perspectives or environmental management or literature, English literature as well, and along with the science subjects they are offered at the school. So that would be the optional subject which would guide them into maybe that fulfills their passion and they would like to pursue that in future instead of the main stream subjects which they have taken. So the schools, Beacon House, and I'm sure other schools are also doing that they're having the counseling session with the parents regularly, and when the students are opting for the subjects and the fields are open for them. It's not that once they have taken up a subject or any particular field, they cannot switch to another field if they do not find that very lucrative for them, or if they do not feel that they are satisfied or happy with that field. So we offer them, and other schools also would be doing the same, I'm sure. They offer them options to switch to the other subject options available. And the parental guidance is also very important because, a lot of times the parents are the ones who are deciding for the students to choose for any particular field. So awareness and asking the parents to come for discussion, because a lot of times they are aware of the fields, however they have anxieties, they have uncertainties, there are economic factors related to it because the hike in the fee and inflation. So all that has to be dealt with within the school boundaries, guidance to be provided. We provide them with different platforms where they can raise questions if they are unable to meet us in person, and that is how the uncertainties and all the related questions about the fields are answered. Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to share a little insight. So I'm sorry I'm bringing my own personal experiences because I have a 23-year-old, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. तो बिल्कुल वो वाली एज ग्रुप है जो यहाँ पर सारे काउंसलर्स जिनको इस वक्त काउंसिल कर रहे हैं. So global perspectives की आपने बात की. So I actually not forced, I shouldn't say that, but I did convince very aggressively my kids कि ये वाला subject तुम लोगों ने लेना है. And interestingly enough, what happened was कि Manahil was not particularly, my daughter wasn't particularly interested in psychology, but global perspectives में वो जो एक research paper लिखना होता है, क्योंकि उसने sports पे लिखना था, she wanted to do something sporty, and so she did her research paper on gender shift, or gender transition and how that affects sports people in the world, right? And usme, because she became acquainted with a lot of psychological theories, that is how she ended up doing a major in psychology and social sciences, and that is what has now led her to pursuing or wanting to pursue a degree in sports psychology. So when you counsel parents, थोड़ी सी अगर बात हो जाए कि जी ये इस तरह बच्चे ने global perspectives ने उनको ये मतलब थोड़ी सी अपॉर्चुनिटी दी कि वो थोड़ा अपने आप की सेल्फ डिस्कवरी करें, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ मसला ये होता है बच्चों की सेल्फ डिस्कवरी नहीं हो रही होती. माई 2 elders were okay with, they had a very clear career path. The little one has no idea what he wants to do, and he's very open about it. He says, mama, मुझे नहीं पता, इन दोनों को पता था, मुझे नहीं पता, don't push me into choosing a university after my AS. I will choose after A levels, or maybe even take a gap year, and that's okay, So I think ये इस तरह के subjects जो हैं, they actually open your mind to exploring possibilities for your future as well.
If I may add one
Ji,
thing
ji.
only. It's not always the formal education, it's actually the variety of activities, co-curricular activities which are provided at the school level, from where the students also identify their talents. So somebody who's really good at sports would of course be identifying that at the school level, or theatre, and we have had the students who have identified their theatrical skills by performing in the school events and now pursuing the same careers. So that is also one of the important factors.
बिल्कुल. एंड टर्शरी, हम टर्शरी की बात कर रहे थे, तो उसके अंदर जैसे आई वाज थिंकिंग कि अच्छा अगर तुम्हें स्पोर्ट्स में इंटरेस्ट है तो तुम किस तरह की नौकरी ढूंढ रही हो. एंड सो शी सेड कि ओके मे बी आई वांट टू लुक एट अ स्पोर्ट्स चैनल because I have a psychology degree. I can look at how psychologically you can get in more people to view sports, or what is the kind of sports programming, how does the newer audience, how does it tick, how do you work with TapMad, like for instance TapMad is a new streaming platform which is particularly for sports. So kids also find their own pathways, so it's very important to have these kind of extracurricular discussions, and perhaps schooling themselves can open these kind of new pathways, इसके ले आए थोड़ा सा स्कूल के अंदर, तो that'll be great. Okay, so let's move on to our question for Ms. Tayyiba. In what ways can higher education institutions collaborate with schools to better inform and support students making a subject choice that could lead to a different but lucrative career?
Okay. Definitely, as I said earlier, the workshops, the seminars, the activities, any trips, any programs with the HEI people, with their top management, with the people actually dealing with the students, with the admissions or anything of the university and the programs. In that way, obviously, you can disseminate the information first, initially to the counselors, then to the parents and the students, obviously. The children, they should know what exactly is coming on their way, what are the career paths, what are the programs which can be more, gaining and which are more in demand nowadays. And first of all, obviously, their self-discovery is more important, that what they want to do, what have their interest. Their minds, what they are willing to do. I mean, there are a lot of students, when they come over here, they switch the programs. After first semester, they switch the programs. For example, in the dental sciences, then they switch them. No, we are more interested in the biotechnology, in the research program, so we can shift. Can we shift the program? Obviously, definitely. So the basic thing is that the collaboration of HEIs with the Cambridge schools and the counselors and the principals, whatever. I mean, they should have the visits, regular visits, to see, the seeing is believing. When they come to the visit the HEIs, what the programs they have, what are the opportunities, what are the undergraduate and the postgraduate, postdoc programs are there. what will be the career opportunities for them. So only then they can be, convinced and they can do the fruitful thing, and I think.
Okay, thank you. So perhaps जैसे मुझे तो अपना आर्ट एंड डिज़ाइन का पता है कि हमारा तो वो एंड ऑफ सेमेस्टर एक वो बड़ा एंड ऑफ द ईयर व्हेन यू ग्रेजुएट देयर इज़ अ ह्यूज शो व्हिच वी कॉल आवर थीसिस शो एंड आई थिंक अदर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ नाउ हैव दैट. आई हैव बीन टू अ couple of computer science displays as well, where some really interesting projects from computer science students I've seen. So perhaps more of those, where parents can also come and students can also come and counselors can also come. So उसमें ये होता है कि कम से कम एक showcase आपको दिखता है तो you kind of like realize कि अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है. This could also be a possibility. And I also think that something you said, sir, about the minors and the majors. You also these kind of shows also allow you to see कि आपके subject की और किस्म की क्या निकल सकती हैं possibilities.
Definitely. Before I answer your question, the answer to the previous question was that now the universities have lots of information available for counselors, for higher education institutions. So, I mean, the best thing is to talk to the university. Like, for example, if I give example of IBA Karachi, all our information is either available on our websites. We invite counselors to on our campus, so that they can come and meet with our faculty and even at times meet with our students to understand what sort of culture we have. Coming towards your question, yes, there are lots of programs going on, lots of activities going on where not only the parents but the counselors can come and visit those universities to find out what sort of environment that has been developed. And there is one more thing. At IBA, we always say that a student's learning, out of the total learning, 30% is the formal learning that the student is learning inside a classroom. The 70% is the informal learning that the student is learning on campus, maybe in the student center, on the playgrounds, in the laboratories. So the idea here is that we try to develop the potential of the student, not only about the subject, but how to meet with other people, how to communicate, how to face challenges, what sort of pressures are there, what would be the reply to those pressures. And like we have lots of student societies. All these societies, they work towards developing that overall personality that a student must have. So if I just say in terms of academia, IBA might be contributing only maybe to up to like 25 to 30%, but the rest is the students' own, turning out as a human. That is something which is very important for us.
Thank you so much. Absolutely correct and so important. I would now like to ask Mr. Rahil. So, how do you think we can foster a culture of curiosity and creativity in education that encourages students to take subjects and take risks and follow their passions? What can the school management do? What can the school do to create that kind of an environment that encourages that risk-taking to allow creativity to flourish?
Look, it's a very tough thing. In the world of today, it's become extremely competitive at every level, right? When you apply to A-levels, it's competitive. When you apply to university, it's competitive. Then when you get out there in the world and trying to find a job, it's competitive. So it's very hard to think about these wonderful concepts you're talking about in the abstract, but they're extremely important because, as I said, we are all following our passions in our professional lives. And in order to do that, you have to find a way to discover those passions. And you'll make mistakes along the way. You'll make good decisions. You'll make bad decisions. You'll learn from them. And that's how you end up here. So how do you get there? Well, one of the things, alluding to the previous question that you asked, how can universities connect? If you look at the US model, which I'm the most familiar with, and probably somewhat in the UK, there are courses and programs designed particularly for high school students. As an international counselor, 80% of the students I work with that are studying, and I'm working with kids from New Zealand, China, America, Canada, Malaysia, They go to US programs in the summer or are actually taking courses throughout the year that expose them to the university environment. To Ahad's point about the research, the ability to understand what's going to be required of them in college, right? This Cedar counseling team gets bashed with this all the time. Yaar, ye dekho, itni badi list hai, bachon ko bolo. Some of the programs are free. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, some of them actually give you a credential with help, which helps you get to college. So in Pakistan, we don't do enough of that. We don't, we'll get the counselors in, we'll do a big marketing presentation, but where is the engagement, as you said, with the youngsters that allows them to see, okay, you know what, if I have to go to IBA and study with this gentleman, I need to have my act together with this, this, and blah, blah. So that's one thing. The other part of it is, when you talk to parents, what happens, especially in the A-level program, kids are just focused on getting the end grade. They don't value the college grade. That's, मेरे counselor बैठे हैं सब कहते हैं पीट रहे होते हैं. They don't care about that transcript, attendance ख़राब है. क्यों? यार CIS के लिए पढ़ेंगे वो result. Now, problem UK में चल जाएगा, maybe even पाकिस्तान में चल जाएगा. आप अमेरिका अप्लाई करेंगे तो नहीं चलेगा. वो grade 9 से transcript मांग लेंगे. फिर क्या करोगे भाई? C's and D's दिखा रहे हो, भले A star होगा, 1500 SAT होगा, but when they look at your, and the thing, and you alluded to it, Cedar does things, and South Shore did things. We did learning modules and other things that are outside the A-level program. They allow our kids to explore things like photography and flying a plane. What did you teach? Survival, outdoor survival, right? Where does that fit into the academic program? But when you write a college application, when you write an essay, especially for the, 9% that went to the USA in the survey, right? That makes a difference. Okay? Now, excuse the name dropping, but this is an important thing. During my time at Georgetown, I was very privileged that at a conference I met the Dean of Admissions at Harvard. I promise you, he's the last guy you would pick out. If I put 6 people in front of you, you would never pick out who he is because he is the most unassuming gentleman in the world. And that's why a lowly associate director got to spend some time with him. And I asked him this question. I said, Bill, his name is Bill Fitzsimmons. I said, Bill, Harvard gets X number of applications. Every kid is number 1 in the class. Every kid has done so many spectacular things. How the heck do you decide? Now, Georgetown at that point was still very competitive, 20%, 18%. Now they're at 8%. Harvard used to be 8, 9%. They're now at 3% admission rate. And he said, listen, it's such an art. It's not a science. It's not about the numbers always. It's all, it's about finding the oboe player from North Dakota who has, just sort of humanly affected one of the committee members. Now, to get to that position, how do you as counselors break that parental mindset or the student mindset कि यार बस वो A-level के grade लाएं? Which is very important, by the way. There's no doubt that that A star counts. You get scholarships and credit because of it. But how do you break that as counselors, as an institution? Cedar is somewhat successful. I know others have tried things. But this engagement with our own universities, when a kid can put that into their mindset, one of my favorite things that I do with every counselee that I can is a test called the Myers-Briggs. How many are familiar with the Myers-Briggs? You are. So it's a test that we do. And if you look it up, it basically types your personality. And then you can, from that, and it's not 100%, okay? It's not like if I am certain thing, they'll write, okay, this is the kind of career you'll have and this is the kind of person you are. It's not 100%, but I promise you, at least 50, 60%, or some people even 80%, it'll map out things for you. So you can guide parents that way, कि भाई आपका बच्चा ये है. And Myers-Briggs, even corporate people use Myers-Briggs. So it is not infallible, but it's a great tool. So use the tools that you have. You're going to have a battle with the parents. There's no doubt about that. And मैं भी कहता हूँ भी वो sociology दिलवा दें. कहते हैं sociology पढ़ के क्या करेंगे? मैंने कहा भाई, this is where I would put up, I've given some resources to the team that you can ask them for soft copies. Just to illustrate, I went to the LSC website. आप LSC की website पे जाएं तो they have this list of preferred and non-preferred subjects. ठीक है? Let me read you some of the preferred subjects. And they have the link for this. Ancient history, classical civilization, geography, government and politics, history, law, philosophy, physics, mathematics, religious studies, psychology, sociology. Okay? If you click on that tab that says subject combinations, just click on that plus sign. ठीक है? थोड़ा नीचे जाएं. Different combinations and non-preferred subjects, right? So if you go up, you'll see कि भाई, what are their traditionally preferred subjects? So just keep going up. If you could scroll up, you'll see this list that I was reading out to you, right? Now this is LSE, this is one institution, right? Just like I tell my kids, this is one person's opinion. There are many others out there, but this just shows you. Now if you just keep going down to the non-preferred subjects, अब आप वो देखें, और यहाँ सारे counselors और जो A-level principals हैं, उनकी चीखें निकल जाएंगी, because look at the top of the list, accounting, art and design, business studies, not preferred. ठीक है? नीचे जाएंगी जो excluded subjects हैं, उनमें GPR है. हाँ, आप दीजिए देखें. Normally included subjects क्या है? Critical thinking, GPR, and now this is LSE, right? I would submit to you that when kids see this, what do you expect them to see, right? वो क्या सोचेंगे? What are the parents going to say? And this is different for every institution, right? And US universities view it very differently. Right? They'll take any subject. Why? Because it demonstrates certain things. The world of today, as has been pointed out by multiple people, is for people who can think in many different ways, who process information. You can be a mathematician with a data science background and work in sports. Why? You're analyzing statistics with relative to sports. Aajkal media is huge. Any background. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, and you can get involved with media. The world has evolved where multitasking people are the requirement of the day. I use my MBA training, my computer science, everything I learned, as Dr. Saab said, the learning that happened outside the classroom, meeting my fellow students, studying at big institutions. I use that today when I work with my kids. And I encourage my teams to work with them in that way. So it's a huge job. It's very tough to do, but there are tools available. There are examples you can put in front of parents to say, "Bhai, ye dekhein." The data is all out there because the web is a wonderful thing. And you can use AI even to come up with arguments for parents. कि भाई sociology की value क्या है? आप दिखा दें उन्हें यार. Psychology की value क्या है? Because उनको ऐसे नहीं समझ आएगा. And you have to give it to them because देखिए, how many of our parents have been through the A level? कितना? 10% होगा. उनको तो पता ही नहीं है. वो तो किसी ने बता दिया तो ये कर दिया. And they're doing something to better their children's life, better than their own was. But they don't know. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll completely vouch for this. Have you ever heard of this vehicle known as BYD? It's build your device. This is a competitor to Tesla's, and it is selling more electrical vehicles than Tesla. So when we think that even with our vehicle, we will have this option of customization. Like for example, I need this type of interior, this type of exterior, these type of lights and so forth. Imagine what we are doing with a kid. 20 years ago, we were in a factory style production that every doctor, every engineer, every MBA was similar. You could very easily identify कि अच्छा ये IBA का graduate है, ये Zabis का graduate है, ये फलाने का graduate है. That was very simple, but that was 20 or 30 years ago. Today, every student, as sirs mentioned, that they have their own personality, they will have their own life, they will have their own professions and own passions. So we have to develop those things. That's why we have to go for a wider option. But at the same time, we have to understand the fail-safe option. If you are looking for a very niche career, like for example, a bachelor's in cybersecurity, I don't know, I like this example. This means that that 18-year-old kid is tied to cybersecurity for the rest of the life. Are you ready to do this? If there is a passion that you have identified as a counselor, go for it. That's the best thing. But when you haven't decided, think about general things and allow the student to customize himself or herself based on the passions that student has. So that's my message here.
Yeah, the one thing I'd also like to add, the difference between the world when I was a college student, we won't go into how long ago that was, but long enough. The world moved at a different pace. So if you were an engineer, the lifelong learning you had to do was not at such a rapid pace. Today, everything you do evolves so quickly that you have to be a multitasker. Otherwise, you'll get left behind.
अच्छा, so बस अब टाइम शॉर्ट हो रहा है. So I think हम questions के लिए open कर देते हैं फ्लोर को, है ना? So any questions to the panel?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Noreen Gilani. I'm representing Future World College here. I want to ask higher education institutes हमारे यहाँ बैठे हुए, but unfortunately there is a big communication gap between the. Although we have talked about that there could be like education, there should be visits and there should be other things which they should be doing. But you know that recently when I was searching for summer internships and volunteer programs for my students so that they have the co-curricular and extracurricular exposure, none of the higher education institutes were coming into it. There were volunteer programs from many NGOs and all that. So this should be the, I have seen Habib University taken that initiative when they were, they have customized a program, summer program for the students. You know that today, today the children are, they are very informed as well, and they are very confused as well. So if we want to put them into a right track of pathway, because you know that there are 15 years of discussing things with among themselves. Parents से communication होती है लेकिन कम होती है. So the you know that the communication channel which they are having is either the internet or their fellow students, which makes them more confused. So if higher education institutes in Pakistan, I am specifically talking about Pakistan because we see a lot of programs from international universities, will come up with some idea to guide the 89% who are staying in Pakistan. They will definitely make a change because affordability is one of the reasons where our students are falling you know, out from the international university. So why not the generation who is staying back, why not make them stronger? So these programs are very important, and please come up with summer activities or something like that when the students have time. So this is my question, that what these institutes are doing about that. Thank you.
It's a challenge for us, but that takes lots of our time. But I agree that there should be more communication with the counselors. What at IBA we did, we invited the counselors to come on the campus. Even we, for our higher education system, we paid for all those counselors from you know, Gilgit and Chitral to come to IBA. We paid for their air tickets, we paid for their accommodation at IBA so that they can come and see what is the academic scenario at Karachi is. So we invited them that, okay, you go and visit Habib, you go and visit, you know, different A-level colleges, and you also visit IBA, so that you get a better understanding that what we Karachites are doing. So that we do these type of activities, but still I agree, we have to do more.
More communication perhaps is needed between, stronger communication between the HIs and the counselors.
Yes, I do agree with you. Basically, it falls into the more in the general universities rather than the medical or engineering or any other specified universities. A lot of constraints, financial constraints is there, obviously. Secondly, we are very limited to our medical and allied health sciences programs. So many of the students and the counselors and parents, they are not interested in that. But regularly we conduct the workshops and the exhibitions, the poster presentations and exhibitions, which is definitely uploaded and upgraded on our website as well. So anyone can, but that sort of effort which you are asking, wo utna nahi hai. I do agree with that. It should be there, or it can be done with both the parties, like with the HEIs, higher education institutions, and from the schools, colleges, and the other higher school institutions as well.
Personal example, I have a buddy who is part of United Medical College and has a couple of hospitals as well. And I was after him, I said, yaar, mere bachon ke liye internships nikalo. And I told him, I said, I want my business kids to come. Kyun? Every hospital has a business, right? So it's just not the medical kids that can go, it's every kid. There's something or the other for somebody, right? Even just volunteering, community service. But it's up to us, because you know why? Inke paas, for every spot, kitne applications hai? 50, 100, 1000, right? What you have to show them is why this is worth their while. So what I said to him was that you'll get better kids looking at your institution. Parents will start thinking, acha yaar, yahan pe bacha gaya tha, they'll know your hospital. Maybe that'll get you better business, right? Maybe that'll find you a good accountant in the future. So it's one hand never works. It's always two hands. So go show them why it's beneficial for them. I'm going to meet with Habib and try to do that. Meet with individual professors. As sir said, कि यार वो HEC इतना pressure डालता है. But on an individual professor level, I happen to know a professor at IBA, she teaches in the liberal arts program. मैंने उसे कहा यार, what if we try to work out something where you can do some research with my kids? She's open to it. I'm going to meet her sometime this summer and maybe we'll start that way. Maybe push rather than pull. So हम लोगों का भी बनता है on the school level rather than just saying कि यार ये लोग नहीं कर रहे, भाई इनके पास वैसे ही इतनी चीज़ें करने को हैं, हम लोग करते हैं क्यों हमारे बच्चों को फ़ायदा है.
एक चीज़ मैं और कहना चाहूँगी, कोलैबोरेशन की भी ज़रूरत है. अच्छा पता क्या होता है, हम लोगों को ना इस मुल्क में थोड़ी ये आदत है कि हर चीज़ हम खुद करेंगे, हमें इसका टोटल क्रेडिट चाहिए. सो व्हाट एंड्स अप हैपनिंग इज, एंड दिस इज़ व्हेयर स्टूडेंट फटीग आल्सो काइंड ऑफ लाइक creeps in. Everybody is doing their own thing rather than saying कि okay, let's collaborate with the medical sciences and do like a jam or some kind of a workshop or some kind of a summer school. Collaborate with them and do something. We'll say okay, our institution is going to have their own thing. उनका कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है डाओ से. डाओ कहेगा हम अपना कर रहे हैं, इंडस वैली कहेगा हम अपना कर रहे हैं, निक्सर अपना करा होगा, आर्ट एंड डिज़ाइन प्रोग्राम. सो स्टूडेंट्स भी फटीग्ड हो जाते हैं और फिर वो फड्डा भी शुरू हो जाते हैं कि जी हमें निक्सर ने ये बताया था, हमारे टीचर्स नो बेटर एंड द इंस्टीट्यूशन नोज बेटर, एंड देन द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑल्सो डजंट लाइक इट. ओ निक्सर ने तुम्हें ये बताया था, अच्छा, बट दैट्स नॉट ट्रू, फॉरगेट अबाउट इट. सो आई थिंक हम बात करते हैं एज एजुकेटर्स 21st century scale, and I was reading about the 22nd century skills. Collaboration is key. So I think rather than doing individual or silos में रह के अपने डिज़ाइन करने को, try to collaborate. That might be a good way forward. Open classrooms was something Indus Valley started. I think 2 years back वो COVID की नज़र हो गया, where we'd open up our classrooms for 1 week for students to just come and sit and see कि क्या हो रहा है, that was good. Maybe some of the HIEs could also do that, maybe it could be an institutional thing. अराउंड अ टाइम हम कोई एक टाइम फ्रेम कर लें कि जी इस टाइम पे जब हमारे ऊपर रश ना हो एग्जामिनेशंस का, वो भी एक प्रॉब्लमेटिक टाइम होता है, तो उस टाइम पे हम कहते हैं कि जी ये 1 वीक जो है ओपन क्लासरूम्स होगा एट डिफरेंट HIEs, and so students from diverse backgrounds can come, and then the A-level institutions can also make sure कि उस एक वीक के अंदर they don't schedule exams or something like that. Students कहते थे आपने ओपन क्लासरूम कर दिया, हमारे इस वक्त एग्जाम्स हो रहे हैं, so we can't come, so that kind of an issue. So many things to think about. Sorry.
I strongly agree with Mr. Rahil. देखिए, you have to come up by your own. HEIs are very busy as well. मतलब आप लोग, obviously you people are also busy, but you come up with us, na? So we will facilitate you people in, developing any program or in making any visits or interaction with our own students, who are currently studying in our programs. They can better educate or give the information to the prospective students who want to, enter into our programs or who want to pursue the career in medical or any other fields. So you come up with the ideas. We can definitely facilitate you people. Yeah.
I have a question as well.
Hello. I'm Shane. I head the A levels of a convent school. We have students coming in from diversified backgrounds, children of bureaucrats sitting along with children of drivers. That's St. Michael's Convent School. Coming to the topic, selecting unconventional subjects. And to what we just spoke about, I loved how Dr. Hoja pitched in, Ms. Saira, Mr. Rahil, and yourself, Ms. Taiba. And to what just Noreen was asking, to creating the experience. I slightly defer to our assumption to how parents need to be educated. Like the age group we're talking about, this is 16, 17, 18-year-olds. All these parents are in their 40s and 50s. They're okay with their kids becoming footballers. They're okay with their kids taking unconventional careers. What is really missing, like Mr. Rahil pointed out, is investment which is non-financial, like emotional investment. Like they just want aap kar dein, aap dekh lein. How is the experience map of the student looking like throughout the day? So I feel as counselors, what really needs to be told to the parent community in particular is na deti performance anxiety. There is no let him be, let him experience. And we as on the education canvas create the experience. I mean with yourself, Ms. Taiba, I feel har kisi ko dao mein doctor banne ke liye jana hai. Yes, you mentioned doctor of physical therapy. Physiotherapy is a thing today. They could be earning far more. And plus, we live in a very visual economy today. We could be actually reducing taboos. If my students want to pursue the nursing program from Aga Khan, it's such a taboo with the parents, and even myself sometimes, yaar, tum MBBS pe kar lo, nursing program mein kyun ja rahi ho? Just very, so it's about the embedded beliefs we have, which, yes, like Tazeen mentioned, collaboration, maybe using the social media, maybe cutting taboos on a larger level. Because parents now are fine. They're like, okay, theek hai, jo tumhe karna hai, tum kar lo. And then the students take their feed from the media, from their peers, and of course, now they don't connect with, we don't have the classic extended family model anymore. We're living in nuclear families, limited experiences. So I feel creating the experience is far more important. And how we do that is the question. वो experience to create करें बच्चे के लिए कि वो ये subjects ले पाए और उस पे believe कर पाए और dream कर पाए. So yeah.
That's how you people also should have the information about the programs, about their future, about the career. Even only then you can, communicate this to the students as well. You can enforce them, you can guide them, you can, motivate them to do to pursue in the specific field. The student counselors should have all the information. For that, in that connection, we also have the open houses, online open houses, to give the information about the relevant programs, the different programs we are offering, and what are the benefits, what is the demand, where they placed after getting their degrees. So you people should have the information as well. The student counselors, I meant to say that.
So last question होगा जी.
Actually, sorry if I may, I just beg to differ a little bit because ever since like I've become a parent, I feel like it is really important. Like we do want our kids to survive. Like Sir was talking about how the Harvard representative, maybe they're looking for that child from for wherever things over. But I think that's the exception, not the rule. Because I feel like at the end of the day, all the A-star students, these are the ones actually doing well. I mean, these are the ones who are actually getting into the university, and that's what the numbers tell you. That's what most of them end up, right? Most of them are successful. And I feel like me as a parent, पहले मुझे भी ऐसा लगता था कि आगे हो गया तो whatever. But now, I mean, I honestly would want my child to also take conventional subjects because I feel the risk factor is too high.
Yeah, but college admissions and getting a degree is not the evaluation of a success. The success comes 10 years down the road to see where they are. So you can still get the A star and go to Harvard and turn out to be not so good just because you went to the wrong place. That's your opinion. 30 years of experience tells me, and as an A-level principal with the number of kids that have graduated, I have found that the average student and the exceptional student tend to find their way in the world of today, and in some cases, that average student becoming an entrepreneur far outpaces the A-grade student, because here's the dilemma. That kid is so focused on this particular goal that they miss the forest for the trees. So yes, the general view, and yes, the A-stars get you in and stuff, but the A-stars and I didn't go to Harvard. I think I turned out pretty well. You know, I am an international counselor, I'm a principal, I think I have a little bit of respect in the community, and I think I'm doing okay. So, and there are a billion of examples. So yes, technically yes, but the evaluation is not where they get into college. The evaluation is what they do with their education and where they end up 10 years later. So you don't have that, and maybe go research and you'll probably find it evens out. Look at some of the biggest names that we talk about. They're actually university dropouts. So they still dropped out. So anyway, so you can debate those issues, and yeah, but what I'm saying is they got in, but they didn't stay because they didn't value that education. They valued their entrepreneurial skills. So you are unfortunately defeating your own point कि यार वो ASR मिलके वो हार्वर्ड चला गया, हाँ, लेकिन उसने 2 साल में हार्वर्ड छोड़ दिया ना. तो बात ये है कि देखें, there are no absolutes in the world of today. One wants to do the best, and as counselors, this is one thing I encourage you, and this is something I say. I want to do the best for every kid to the best of my ability. Doesn't matter where they go. It matters what happens in their lives and how they live their lives, and live their lives well. And you know, there's nothing wrong with being a chef or being a nuclear scientist or being an actuary or whatever. There's nothing wrong. As long as you're happy, you follow your passion.
अच्छा, एक आखिरी सवाल ना.
लॉट ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, ठीक है, बहुत सारी बात जैसे हम यहाँ बैठ के कर रहे हैं. तो अगर हमें स्टूडेंट्स में चेंज लाना है, इफ़ यू आर रियली थिंकिंग अबाउट देयर करियर, इफ़ यू रियली थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट दे वांट टू बी रियली हैप्पी, मेक देम स्टैंड, let them talk, let them express, because every parent is different. I had my parents जिन्होंने मुझे इजाज़त दी थी, do whatever you want to do. Because MBA was trending, तो मैंने कहा मुझे MBA करना है marketing. I had no idea कि मैं कर पाऊँगी कि मैं नहीं कर पाऊँगी. But my friends, उनके parents से, they had that pressure. So I will be very quick and I'll sum up with this. Biryani masala, if you give it to everybody, the taste will turn out different, though the ingredients are same. ठीक है, सब चीज़ बराबर है, but obviously the result would be different. So the workshops or maybe the seminars would be arranged in a way where parents would be sitting from all the different backgrounds or systems, where children would be standing and talking about it. There the counselors and the schools and the organizations will come. They would be presenting their facts. They would be presenting their technical knowledge. They would be presenting what they like. They would be presenting and talking what they want to do. And they would convince. See, sir, technical facts, I agree. But in my university time, I also used to fill up like that only. तो वो तो चला गया डाटा, लेकिन डाटा मेरे अंदर जो था वो तो that was something different. So if you really want to bring a difference, हर दिन, हर minute we need to come out of the comfort zone. It's not about बैठ गए एक program बना दिया है. Maybe उसी program में अगले दिन हमें और advancement करनी पड़े, फिर उसके आगे जाके करनी पड़े. And that's what this career, this choosing career, this confusion थोड़ी बहुत narrow down हो जाएगी when student will be cleared and talking about it. That's what I feel like, I think.
Thank you so much. अब हम और सवाल नहीं ले सकते क्योंकि टाइम बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो गया है. So I just want to thank my panelists and thank all of you for your active participation and Cambridge University Press and Assessment for organizing this event and arranging this thought-provoking panel discussion. इस तरह के और भी events होते रहेंगे. Nabia over here has promised me that and she's going to make sure that you know all about it and maybe have more parents that time because मुझे लग रहा है कि सारा हमारा जो आज focus था वो parents को educate करने पे था. तो perhaps more effort towards more parents being part of this. Also, I think Cambridge Assessment could actually play a far bigger role than perhaps what they've been playing in connecting HIs with the A-level and counselor. Yeah, perhaps your podcast series can have those success stories of weirdos who've made it big by not being conventional or taking subjects which are unconventional. You can actually leverage that and also then promote it through social media, perhaps वही targeted marketing towards parents, उनकी feed के अंदर डाल दें ताकि उनको वो वाली success stories मिलना शुरू हो जाएं. So these are just some of the suggestions. Thank you so much for being such a receptive audience and thank you.